Hello, I'm Wanted. This is going to be a tutorial on functions, objects, and arrays in JavaScript. I'm going to make this into a project. We might use GitHub Copilot a bit. You can just follow along wherever you are. Thanks to Sucius for suggesting this as a topic for a tutorial. Obviously, I'll start off with a little bit of description. So, function in JavaScript is essentially it's a block of code where you take an input, a parameter, and you expect a return of something from that, whatever the variable data type that's entered into, as a parameter. A parameter, if you don't know what it means, is just something that a bit of data that you're passing down a chain, basically, in software engineering. Okay, next definition: objects are a way of storing data, essentially. So are arrays, but objects and arrays are like just two different ways of doing the same thing sometimes. So an array is like this. I'll do an example actually. Might as well. So I'm just going to create a main.js file. So I'm just going to get Copilot to just write a HTML file. Write a HTML. Write a page with main.js as the HTML page. There's a main JavaScript file and a element. An element is like a part of the page, and an element which displays text. Let's see what Copilot should come. That should be very easy for Copilot. Really easy. So there we go. We've got the selector here of div ID display text. ID display text, so I can change that to whatever really. Obviously I'm going to modify some of this code. The script source just is referencing our JavaScript, which is where we'll start writing some JavaScript. I'm going to accept that. Obviously you have to have Visual Studio Copilot installed to do what I just did. It won't work otherwise. It's just a plugin though. You just go onto extensions and install it from there. There's other options too as well, of course, but Copilot realistically is what you'll be using most of the time in industry, because most places running VS Code or whatever. Okay, so first off, I'm going to start off with a example function. So you can do this / symbol to add a comment, and I'll just add like example of a function. It's not returning a promise. It returns a promise. So I'm going to go function. So basically we're going to create a random word generator. But the first easier one to do is this example that it is Copilot suggesting there. Multiply A and B. So you put the function name there. You need the function word there to make it a function. There are other ways of writing functions as well. You could do like const multiply, and then you could write it that way as well. That's the other way of writing functions. I tend to write it more just the first way, but that's just because of how I code JavaScript basically. But that does the same thing essentially. So I'm going to actually get onto writing something myself instead of just relying on ChatGPT. I don't like doing that sometimes. So I want to make a random word generator, right? So we'll go on to arrays in a bit, but basically I'm going to take words array, and then I'm going to actually call another function. Let me just think. So the parameter will be words, and I'm going to call this generate word. Now Copilot may well figure out what I'm going to do, but obviously I want to do it myself because I'm stubborn, I guess. Generate words, and this will be the main function that runs. Basically, gets called in the chain of called functions. So I'm gonna go we'll make it randomized actually, number, and then there we go. Generate results. No, so we're gonna get so that is assuming what I want to do, but that's not actually what I want to do. I'm gonna go words. Let me just think of the. Well, I'll get back onto that later. I'll just add a comment here. This is where we will take the. I mean, this is often a very good thing to do. If you just write down, you know, before you get to the end blob of what you're going to actually create, the end result of what you actually want the script to do is just to write down. This is what it will do basically eventually. So where we'll take the words array and randomize the index position and return a result, right? And then you'd also say then display append, basically change that text in here to display text. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's that. Okay, I'm going to go on to arrays now. I'm going to get rid of this because we don't need it there. I'm going to go. Maybe you'd want to do something like this. Is just like common conventions you do. So you do something like random word generator. Actually, do it in all caps probably. I would do it anyway. Everyone's got their own way. Okay, so we're going to get. I'll create an array. I'll do that first. So an array is basically a way of storing data in an object called an array. So you'll see there Copilot's come up with an example of our words, and it's just created a bunch of words, which is basically what I'm going to do, but it has missed something quite important actually. You can use var in JavaScript. It's obviously fine to do that. All that var stands for is variable, but there is also const and let, and you need to be very aware of the differences between const and let. Const is basically stands for constant, which means its value can never be reassigned. So you can never, once you've reassigned, say for example if I assigned const words equals, and then did these two square brackets for an array, and then put apple or whatever it says there, I can't then go into this function and change what I've just assigned that to. So if I did this for example, just did, I don't know, boo, that is illegal. That won't work properly because it's you can't reassign a const. So if I did like console log, I'll actually run this now as well, so it should work. If I open it up in the index HTML, you should get an error actually. So if I go to Reveal on File Explorer, open up the index page, the HTML page, so you see at the minute we've just got, this is where the text will be displayed, which is just what you'd expect. And well, I don't have an error, but that isn't right anyway, basically. So you shouldn't, it would be messed up because it's a const. And so the other form of variable anyway is a let. So you'd go, that can be reassigned now, so you can reassign that to anything. So like if I had a different data type, I should also mention data types. Let. So I'll just do a bunch of ones here. So in JavaScript, data types just automatically, it automatically knows what data types you are declaring when you declare it, and instantiate them, I think is the technical term. So for example, if I did string, that's just like this basically. I am Mr. Stringy. And if I did yeah, like that, a number, it automatically knows what the type is. You can run into error problems with JavaScript with type conversion sometimes, failing. It can be a pain. But anyway, I'm not going to go on about that too much. Let's create an array. So I'm going to keep it simple, random words, and I'm going to go endless field. We add some connectives, obviously, nouns or verbs, etc. Action. Have you seen and going town prayer. Well, I'm just going to make a bunch of random ones really that might make some interesting sentences basically. Practice people. Boom. Band-aid. Back. Forward. Left. Right. Saying Bob. Chris. Samuel. Now that's obviously tons of values to have in there, but we won't obviously. And there are other ways of doing this as well. So obviously you could also use JSON, which is JavaScript serialized object notation. So often you wouldn't usually be storing stuff like this in an array, but obviously I'm just showing what an array is. You can also, of course, store different data types. It doesn't all have to be strings. So these are obviously, because I'm putting those quotation marks there, that means it's a string. As I said before, JavaScript knows that. It doesn't have to be explicitly declared. Sorry, it just implicitly knows that it's a string. Oh. It's a string. But we could add some numbers in there as well. Why not? I mean, there could be that too. Though I'm not sure if that's a great idea. No, actually, I can do it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just go through all this, fix it. Obviously, it's quite a long string, but I think you can also do this if you wanted to. Yeah, so you can break it down the line, next line down. 62, 10, whatever, 90. So that's arrays. Now, there's a lot more I could go into in terms of array manipulation. There's a lot more to JavaScript arrays than that. Here's an important thing to know with arrays. So if I go random words, index of, right? Index of endless, right? Which is there's a method to figure out what the array index is of that first element there, this one. And then if I console log that, right? I'll have to just do this. Console.log, because it's only a test. Console.log, and then this. You'll see something now. So if I do that again, 0. So the first element in the array is 0, right? It's not 1, it's 0. So array indexes start at 0. That's a very important thing to remember. So yeah, you just have to bear that in mind. So whatever, that's 0, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5. It's very counterintuitive at first. It's confusing as hell. You do get used to it. Obviously, I'm not going to go on about that much more than that. There are tons of array methods, array manipulation methods you can do. That would sort it just randomly. In fact, I think we need that, so I'll just do. That's actually good. Copilot's just generated that for me. It's figured out what I want to do, which is nice. A lot of so it's got all of them basically. It's just returned back the length, or I sorted them all out. I think alphabetically, right? No, it's just sorted them somehow. I'm not sure what the sorting order is there. There's something called a sorting algorithm, I think. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 1 that was just interesting to see. I'm not going to, again, there's tons of methods you can use for JavaScript arrays or arrays in general, most programming language is. Just a lot to go into. I've already been going for 50 minutes, so onwards to objects. Const, and I'll do it random sentence maybe, I don't know. And then we'll go this notation. There we go. So it's just another way of modeling data basically. So I've declared this as a const variable, which is constant basically, as I said before. Random words is that's coming from here at the minute, the sorted array element. Just make these a bit more obvious. Right, and then we'll write the function right at the end of all this. So now I'm going to get Copilot to do it actually, so no, not generate, but select maybe a random amount of words from the array random words, and assign it to actually no, I'll do that here. And I will talk about how you can access properties on an object. So go Control and I for that. See what happens if it doing it. And this is the interesting thing sometimes. Okay, so she's using slice. So these are the array methods as I mentioned before. I'm just going to rejig that a bit because I just prefer to read it that way. Obviously add a comma. So join is joining the just the space in between this, and then it's slicing at array index 0 up to maximum of this number, which is there. So that's that property on there. And then if I do this, right, we should see this work, right? So we get the random sentence number. Now, obviously, there are so many ways to do this, right? Yeah, so we've got it. Towner, have back, Samuel saying forward. I mean, it's word salad, but it's now generating random word sequences, basically. So that will just generate and generate and generate, and then almost endless amount of different ways. Let me just explain this part. So we have see there, that's the object which we're modeling here. These are the properties on that object. So random sentence is a property that's being accessed from there. So I hope that makes sense. Probably I can leave this here, so in about 20 minutes, quite fast. Oh, functions. So yeah, I can still write a function. Maybe we could do something like fun, maybe a bit more visual. So somewhere like, obviously we need to add this onto the screen. So I'm going to go const, and I'm going to select the query document query selector. That's the one, and then it's, what is it? Display text. I want to just basically replace it. Oh, window. window.r. Why am I forgetting this? Oh, idiot. Sorry, that's me being dumb. Basically, what is it? Display text equals document, document query selector. That's then selecting. This is a query selector, which is a method selecting elements on the page. That should be display instead of display or whatever the hell it is. And then display text, and we're going to go. Really shouldn't really do it in the HTML. It should be more like set. It always says that, but I mean we'll do it for now. It doesn't really matter, but I don't know. So text content, yeah, that's actually what it should be. It doesn't need to be that, but I'm gonna basically give this. Now this is obviously done in vanilla JavaScript. I should have mentioned that before, but I'm pretty sure it don't need to be mentioned. I'm going to pass this parameter in, right? So random sentence, and that's passing all of that in. And then I'm going to pass this parameter, which has been passed, into this function here, generate words, random sentence, and then now that should be assigned, because obviously this is assignment, to this. I think it should work. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Let's try it in a HTML probably. That's probably why. Set in a HTML. Though I don't really like doing it because it's like you shouldn't really set. It's like dangerous sometimes to set in a HTML. It can be open to bad shit going on. Just do this anyway for now. That's the one. Is it? Oh, it's ID. Sorry, that's my bad. That is actually should be an ID, not a. There we go. It should be an ID, not a class. I do that all the time. It's a very common thing to do. Why? Let's put it as nothing for now. Okay, I'll create a quick button just to basically do it anyway. So trigger that off. I'll just do it as a, I don't know, event listener actually. So just obviously create the button tags. Random sentence. ID gen sentence. I'm gonna go. We're gonna actually add an event listener. Yep. Let's add that sort of here. An event listener listens for like different events that happen in the DOM document object model. So we're going to add event listener on that button element we've got. Const. Oh no. That's the one. And then we're going to select that element, that one, and go event listener. We're going to add a little dot there, which adds to, and then it'll regenerate it again, basically. So I want to maybe really organise this code a bit more as well. Obviously, it's personal for everyone, but. Let's do this, shall we? Event listeners. Generate words. So that's good code there. Yeah. See what happens now. There we go. That works. Sort of. Oh, the event listener didn't work. I've done something wrong there. What did I call it? Oh, gen sentence. Why is it? Oh, it was just yeah. Okay. So this is where you shouldn't over rely too much on Copilot because it can just it can get in the way sometimes. Why is that not working? Should be regenerating it really. Anyway, it's got the text generated there, and yeah, you could then trigger it again. I've just missed something there for some reason. Okay, so that's probably okay for a basic overview of it. It's only 25 minutes, that's not too bad, I suppose. I've tried to make this as short, snappy as I can. It's obviously quite a tough one to race through quite fast because there's quite a lot to cover, and I will have missed quite a few things there, but I hope that was interesting at least, and that you got something out of it. I'll put this code up for free on my GitHub because it's probably a decent exercise. You can sort of look at it and deconstruct it, I suppose. I'll make this a H1 probably even. I don't think it needs to be a div really. Oh, H1's ridiculous actually. That's like heading 4. There we go, that's alright. Okay. Doesn't look that pretty obviously. But yeah. I'll leave this video here. Like and subscribe if you learned anything here, or if you found it interesting, or what have you. I'm Noah Nerd. You can buy me a coffee. I have a buy my coffee link. That helps just me keep going with this stuff. I don't get paid for it, so it's just something I do for free. In a bit.